Ready?
Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love After Lockup, Season 6, Episode 8.
I need y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. You ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
So we start with Will and Courtney. They both say I do, are officially married. The mom was able to be there for the wedding, but they have to drive her back to the airport, and they're hoping they don't miss her flight. So we learned that Courtney was in a bad accident with her boyfriend.
Yeah.
She didn't have a seatbelt on. She ended up breaking her neck, and he took off running and left her there.
Wow.
That's how she got that really deep scar on her face.
And truth be told, maybe I'm not looking deep in her face. Until she pointed out, I really did not notice.
I noticed it, but it still didn't stand out as a big deal to me. Yeah.
To me, I'm like, it could be a birthmark.
Exactly. I'm like, she could have been born like that.
So who knows? Yeah.
So the mom said as soon as Courtney felt better, she took off again. But she appreciates her daughter for apologizing for what she's done.
Listen here, a broken neck don't stop her, boy.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Courtney does feel bad for everything she put her mom through, but the mom can see that prison changed her and the adult side of her is coming out.
Let's keep going.
So Will ends up taking her to the halfway house so they cannot consummate their marriage, but he does have some surprises waiting for her the next day. He gets back to the hotel, he calls her, but she doesn't sound like herself. He doesn't know if she's drunk. She's supposed to be sober, and he's worried that she could possibly go back to prison. So the next day when he picks her up from the halfway house, he tells her that he's worried that she might have relapsed based off of the phone conversation. And she was like, well, if you felt that way when we were on the phone yesterday, why didn't you say anything? He said they just got married. He didn't want to ruin the night, and he also didn't want to sound accusatory. Courtney said that she was probably just tired, but she didn't think she sounded weird. To her, it's triggering because she's been in an abusive relationship before where the person was accusing her of doing stuff that she wasn't doing, and she tells him just to trust her.
Here's the thing about it. Y'all got married too fast.
Yes.
Right? Y'all barely know each other. Right? So now y'all are being triggered by each other as husband and wife. You get what I'm saying? You will hope that at least during the halfway house period that, hey, let's get to know each other so I can know your triggers, so I can know what you've been through. I didn't know you was left for dead when you got in that car accident. I didn't know how that affected you. I didn't know why. It's so many things that you don't know. And the reason why you kind of want to build trust before you get married is because when you do reveal those triggers and things like that, it usually come before the marriage. So those actually could be proof of trust. It's like, oh, I told you these things, this is how you reacted, or we've been through some things, and so like I kind of know your character. Here's the thing about it. You're asking me to trust your character. You say just trust me. I don't know your character.
Yeah. And I just picked you up from jail.
So it's like, so that's why I'm like, y'all got married too fast, and now y'all got to actually go through, the rough side of the mountain.
But I guess for me too, I think that Will has a control issue, which a lot of these free people have when they want to get with prisoners. And I think that not only is he concerned that she might go back, I think that he's concerned that he's not around her 24/7 to watch what she's doing, to use her as his little sex doll and all these different things. I mean, he says that he loves her, but he doesn't really know her. And I think that Courtney realizes that, but she's going to ride this thing till the wheels fall off.
Because you're my lottery ticket. Yep. It is what it is.
So we move on to Kiana and Demadri. They go on a cake decorating date.
Okay.
And she feels like they need to do better with trust. She doesn't like when he goes in another room when he talks to his children's mother. In the past, he says he didn't respect anything, but they're older now, so he doesn't want to play any games and waste time. So their cakes actually turned out nice. They're showing each other the cakes, and on his cake, he has the ring that his father gave him, which was his grandmother's ring. He promises to be with her forever. He gives it to her, and she's talking about she wants a huge wedding. So in the confessional, the producer asked, why didn't you say the words, will you marry me?
Facts.
And he said, well, this is more of a promise that they're going to get married. He doesn't want her to go overboard, and he wouldn't want her planning a wedding like tomorrow. And to me, I'm just like, that's what she thinks this is. She thinks she's engaged, and he didn't correct her.
No, he did not.
So to me, I'm just like, Damodrick, he said, he is pretty much dragging this girl along and making her think that not to say it's more serious than what it actually is, but he's definitely not ready for marriage, and he's allowing her to think that she has been proposed to. This is wild.
I don't believe in promise rings. I don't believe, and this is not a husband talking like, oh no, get the real thing. It's just a promise don't cost anything, right? Dude, you know what a promise actually costs? Your word. So don't try to give me something materialistic to really overtake what your word's supposed to mean. So when I say, hey, Blair, I promise to put this video out the next day and things like that, that's my word. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you give her a promise ring when you can't even talk to your baby mom in the same room because she think you're lying. Your word don't mean anything. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Right now, she just blinded by a big wedding. Oh my God, you chose me and not the other girl. But at the end of the day, nothing has changed in your relationship. She still don't trust you.
Exactly. Yeah. And the fact that he put it on her ring finger, I'm just kind of like, you're being confusing on purpose.
Yeah, I think now correct me if I'm wrong. I think the promise ring's supposed to go on your ring finger on your right hand. I'm not sure it's supposed to go on your left hand.
See, I don't know. I'm not hip. Ring, I'm so not. I don't know.
No, I mean neither.
So we move on to Alexis and Julius.
Yeah.
This was the scene, the couple of the night.
You think so?
Yes. So he's going to the studio today.
Word.
She asked him about this delivery job that I guess she gave him the information about, and he's like, he's not trying to do all that. He's the get money fast type of guy. Yeah. And a job just really isn't for him. Alexis is talking about how money's been tight, about paying the bills. Apparently she's got this whiteboard of all the bills that's got coming up, and he said, you know what, that's why I'm focusing on this rapping, so that way we can be good.
Rapping? It's funny.
So Alexis feels like she's alone a lot. The time that she has with him, he rather go see his friends or go to the studio. So she ended up putting an air tag on his car. Well, on her car.
On her car. You're right.
Exactly. So she can see where he's going. So I just want to talk about that a little bit.
Help me.
Alexis, did you guys talk about a plan for when he would come out and getting a job? Was he selling you prison dreams about the job that he was going to have? To me, I'm just like, Julius already admitted that there was another woman. Now he's telling you he has no plans of getting a job. So I'm thinking to myself, Alexis, kick this man out your house.
No, she can't.
He is a bill. He's another bill. She needs to add Julius up on that whiteboard as another bill.
But here's the thing about it, Blair. Listen here. He may not be there long enough because every time he's there, he want to go hang out with his friends. But he's there long enough for them to basically lay down parallel to each other.
That is true.
You get what I'm saying? Or maybe not parallel. Maybe on top of each other. Who knows, right? So obviously, she doesn't see the value in herself. She believes that they going to be happily ever after. I don't know what dreams he told her. Truth be told, I don't even know if he lied to this girl in prison. You get what I'm saying? He probably told her like it's all gonna be all good once I get out, those type of things. But like the actual the actual plan, not a lot of. He already showed us, Julius, he don't have a plan. So or else he would have hit the ground running. I don't know what his release thing is. I don't know if he's on probation or anything. Usually they say you gotta get a job within a certain amount of time. So here's the thing. He talked about he worked at Taco Bell. He worked at all these places, but he likes fast cash. Eventually, you know what that sound like? That don't sound like a rapper to me. That sounds like a drug dealer to me. So that would be my fear. Because him saying that he's going to be a rapper is the same as him saying he's going to be home. Nothing gonna come from it. We don't know no Julius songs and things of that nature. How many rappers have tried to come on the show and try to put out a song and we really don't care because Love at the Lockup keep putting on a show literally a week after after the finale. So it's like the rapper thing is not going to work. What she should be more concerned about is that he's in love with fast money and fast cash, and he may be doing some stuff in her car that could get her hemmed up and things of that nature. So
for real.
So that's really what I'm concerned about, the fast cash aspect. Yeah.
So Alexis invited her friend to come hang out. She's telling her friend that she's been nauseous and she's scared she could be pregnant.
You pregnant?
So her friend brought the pregnancy test. Alexis takes the test and she is pregnant, y'all. Woo. She feels like a baby will bring a lot of joy to her life.
See what I mean?
Alexis then calls Julius to try to tell him, but he doesn't answer. She is wondering what he's doing, so they're like, you know what? Let's go to the studio and meet up with him. He basically, she also tells her friend about the whole other girl situation, and her friend tells her you don't have to just accept anything from this man.
Yeah.
She deserves better. He needs to man up. And, if he doesn't do that, then Alexis needs to leave him. Well, because Julius hasn't been in a relationship before, she thinks that he needs to learn how to be in a relationship. So she ends up tracking his location. He's at the store. He's not at the studio. She pulls up. Apparently there's girls there, and she's asking who the girls are. Not only that, he had other people in the car as well. It looked like they were getting out of her car. So I'm just like, why? Who all is in my car?
Hold on. How do you get here? I got your car. First of all, like this is the entry level my man ain't ish handbook right here. He's borrowing your car, staying in your spot, probably spending your money and things of that nature, right? And now you pull up on him and he's not where he's supposed to be. Let's say he's at the store. There's nothing wrong with being at the store, but you don't see him at the store by himself. Right. And now you got your friend over here saying that, hey, if he ain't gonna be around, you basically need to leave him. And basically your response to that is, well, he don't know how to be a boyfriend or how to be in a relationship. Well, there's a lot of not know-hows he don't know how to do. Right. And now he needs to learn a whole bunch of things at once. So he don't know how to be in a relationship. So he got to learn how to do that while trying to learn how to be a father. Here's the thing about it. I am not here to blame women. I'm here to blame Alexis, right? And here's my thing is, Alexis, you had all the power to protect yourself. You get what I'm saying? When he first came out, you shouldn't have been in no shower with him. You shouldn't have laid down with him. You should have got tested. You get what I'm saying? If you want to date him, you date him. But you got to understand the power that you have as a woman to where it's like, oh, no, it's not about the guy wearing the condom. If the guy's not going to protect you and things of that nature, then you need to protect yourself and get some protection for you, especially since she's a nurse.
No, she's not. She's a tech.
A tech,
and she's going to be in nursing school. She says.
She is in nursing school. So she's going to nursing school and things of that nature. So you're going to school to be a nurse and things like that. So why didn't you take the power like that you have? You have a lot of power. You're powerful. Protect yourself.
Well, I guess my thing is that loneliness is dangerous.
Okay.
And loneliness can put your mind in a place of desperation. And I think that is where Alexis found herself. She was in a place to where she was with a man in prison, giving him her money, her hard-earned money, and she already doesn't have a high-paying job.
No.
And she's already in school trying to pay school bills, car notes, apartments, all these different things while also supporting Julius.
Wow.
Out of loneliness. And now that she's pregnant, she's happy that she won't have to be alone anymore. And I think that this baby will bring her a great amount of joy.
Yeah.
But I also think that it can bring a great amount of stress of not having a supportive child, the father of your child.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're going to have a child with somebody and Julius is going to be the father, and you already see the writing on the walls of how he's showing up for you,
literally,
don't expect much after the baby gets here. It's all I have to say. And hopefully he does change and he improves and all of these great things, but I wouldn't count on it. Count on yourself, but yeah, I was so sad that all of this happened. It seemed like in a whirlwind, and I agree with you. She should have done more to protect herself, but part of me thinks she wanted this. Just like with Brittany, let's hurry up, get you out, let's have this baby, and all of this type of stuff. Maybe she wasn't actively trying, but she wasn't actively not trying.
That's facts.
So we move on to Savannah and Bradley. Bradley picks Savannah up after he was pretty much taking the car for a joyride. They have to go to a prison advocate specialist because he plans to sue the Department of Corrections for harassment. Savannah agreed to go. It is her mom's car, and she would have called the police to recover a stolen vehicle.
That's wild.
So they meet up with Marva, the advocate. He talks about how he would file a complaint on the COs. The person he complained to would respond to his complaints, and they would do strip searches to try to target him. So Marva discusses constitutional violations as being typically what you can sue for, not necessarily things that they are allowed to do within their job scope. So they would call this a frivolous lawsuit. So pretty much you don't have anything.
You don't got nothing.
So he just got out. He has to adjust to freedom, and she's talking to them about how things are going in their relationship. Savannah is being the CO to him, and he should be allowed to have his downtime. You guys can go on dates, get to know each other, but it shouldn't be as serious as it is. And Savannah did not like hearing that.
No.
So Any thoughts about the lawsuit, all that type of stuff?
I'm gonna talk about everything in one scope.
So they're heading back home, and he tells her that she's controlling. He feels suffocated, and they may need some time apart. She feels like he's allowing a stranger to dictate what he does, and she wants to know what his plans are to do by himself. He tells her that she's acting like a bee. He's driving himself to his dad's house, and he leaves her to drive her car back to her house. Savannah calls Alyssa and tells her that, I guess your brother lives at his dad's house now. He stole a car. Now he wants to run to his dad's house. What is this, a divorce? Alyssa tells her to have some patience with him, and she says, it sounds like Bradley left you. It didn't sound like you left him. Savannah says that he didn't take his Xbox though. Then she said that she could run over him with the car, and Alyssa says, well, then she'd have to unalive her.
Why would you even talk to Alyssa?
Why are you calling Alyssa?
That don't even make no sense.
No.
Right? For one, you saw how Alyssa treated you last season or last franchise and things like that, where she basically was like, you know what, I don't need you. You know what, the family never liked you. You ain't nobody to him. Bradley go leave you. You get what I'm saying? So the whole idea that like you have no other friends or things like that, or maybe you felt like, I'm gonna call it because that's his sister and things like that. But why you need to call the sister for? He's at his father's house.
Yeah.
They got different fathers, right? Also, with the whole prison thing with Bradley and things like that, bro. You're entering a prison, right, to where a lot of foul things happen, right, with the officers, with the prisoners, with the system, all the above, right? If that was the case, what makes you so special? You, right? That even though they may do this to other people besides you, you're going to be the one that's going to sue the whole correction facility and take the whole establishment down. You're not special, and that's the whole idea of prison. You know what? You think you're so special that you are above the law, that you can do whatever you want while you're not in prison. And now I'm really going to show you that you're powerless and that you're not special, because I could tell you whenever I want to, get naked, bend over, get naked, bend over. And unfortunately, it's not right, but it's not a constitutional violation of his rights.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, I'm not saying that what they doing was right. But what I'm saying is you have to understand that you was in this position, and guess what? You have to answer to somebody, and you hope that whoever you have to answer to, that they are fair. Unfortunately, the people that you had to answer to, they was picking on you. You get what I'm saying? And that's just the reality of when you go to jail.
Yeah. Bradley doesn't like Savannah, so he really does need to leave that girl alone.
Yeah.
I think that Savannah is the type to possibly get him locked up again.
Ooh.
I think that she's doing everything in her power to keep him under her thumb.
As in payback?
No, because she wants to control just like everybody else does. But I think that with Bradley, he wants more freedom. He actually has a support system outside of her, which I think a lot of these people don't have, and that's why they can keep a lot of their control. But Savannah's going to learn that he's got his daddy, he's got his sisters, he got friends, like he's got people he can rely on other than her. And because of that, she's not going to be able to control him, and I think she's just going to get more and more upset about it. That's so true. I think that because if she'll be upset, he needs to distance himself from her, so that way she doesn't get so upset to the point that she ends up calling the cops on him.
That's true.
So we move on to Michael and Joey.
Y'all.
So Michael tells Joey that he failed the UA, but he says he was just kidding. That's what I thought it was too. I'm just like, you just want to bother this man.
Hey, you hit the nail on the head right there. I was not thinking that at all.
So they go to Joey's family's house for a cookout. And Joey's telling him that, look, my family has their own struggles, so they probably will give you some tips on how to cope and how to get through being sober. Okay. Michael doesn't know how to do things right this time getting out of prison. He still has his old connections, which he considers his family. And he's talking to Joey's family, telling them that. And he says that, yes, some nights it was more comfortable being locked up. I had my room, I had my TV, and it's actually more of a hassle to start over. Joey was kind of hoping that Michael would lie a little bit to his family to make things sound a little bit prettier, but Michael was not lying. No. They discuss how Joey almost died and relapsing is dangerous for him. The brother doesn't think that Michael's ready for a long-term relationship, and it seems like he's going to go back to using. Wow. Michael said that he did end up linking up with some friends online The brother and dad recommend that he gets into a recovery program so that way you can live. The dad's essentially like, do you want to live or do you want to die? Because it's that serious.
True.
Michael has heard all this stuff before, and he is not going to cut off his friends who are his family, even though they are convicts, thieves, and addicts. And they have also gotten him in trouble sometime, but they're not bad people. Okay?
Listen, nobody's not saying that you're bad people, but it's about survival. Keep going.
Michael steps away to make a call to his friend Spencer, and he says this meeting with the family is terrible. Pretty much it's a AA meeting. Everyone was preaching to him the whole time, and Michael makes some plans to hang out with Spencer later. Joey's mom has been a people pleaser her whole life and has been a people pleaser to Joey's father, and that's where she lost herself, and that's her biggest concern for her son because she sees his people pleasing nature.
Here's the thing about it, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how someone can have the right intentions and completely miss the mark? They never met Michael before in person.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And if you believe this is a real relationship, if you believe that Joey is going to be with Michael for at least a good minute, at least they're not going to break up today, right? Why did you choose to have this approach with him on the first time you're meeting him?
Yep.
No, I'm not saying that everything you said was wrong. I think there's a time and place for it. I think there's a time and place for everything, to be honest, right? That you could be right in what you're saying, but if you say it in the wrong place or if you say it to the wrong person, guess what? You're wrong. I don't care how pure your intentions are. I don't care how many times you say that Joey was on a gurney. Do you think I want to hear about Joey on a gurney when I'm just meeting y'all for the first time? No. I don't care about Joey being on a gurney. Do you think Joey haven't told me at least parts of this? You don't think I'm not already hearing it from Joey? Right? So now I'm looking at Joey, if I'm Michael, like you put your family up to this. Like you basically walk me in to basically get hit upside the head by everybody, personal stories. Your mama coming in to talk about she's a people pleaser and things of that nature. And truth be told, I really want to come in here and talk about you or learn about you outside of the drugs. Now, here's the thing about it. There is some growing up that Michael needs to do, right? But it's not going to happen by what y'all tell him. He don't know y'all, so there's no respect. There's no trust. So you're telling him to give up, for one, forget the drug addicts, the drug, all the above, the convicts and things like that. You're basically telling him as people he don't know to give up on the people that he does know. You haven't even built up no type of equity with him. As a person, as a family, as someone that be there, you know what? I'm there for you, bro. You get what I'm saying? But instead, you want to come off as if y'all are some type of infomercial. And if I'm Michael, I guess what? Even though I may be a drug addict, if I'm Michael, I don't want to hear this from y'all. And guess what? Y'all creeping me out. I'm going to go smoke. You know what I'm saying? So even though I feel like the intention was good, completely missed the mark. And Joey, you need to do better. Because in my opinion, I haven't seen the boyfriend side of Joey yet. Outside of when you first initially saw him and you gave him a kiss. Other than that, you basically been his PO, CO, all the above. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's a turnoff.
Yeah, I think that Joey's family's biggest concern is protecting Joey.
Yeah.
And I think that comes across in the way that they talk to Michael, the questions they ask him, because they want to keep Joey alive. And I think that Joey doesn't prioritize his well-being the way that his family does. And because of that, they are going to do everything in their power to try to get Michael to not bring Joey down.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Joey is putting himself in this position and the family knows it. And that's why they're over here, having these serious, deep conversations on first meeting, because it is life and death for Joey. And it probably feels that way for them too, because they love and care about him. But Joey's decisions are Joey's decisions, and if he wants to be with somebody who just got out of prison who they believe will relapse, I'm not going to say they have to respect it. I think that they can talk to Joey as much as they want to, but like you said, you're not getting through to Michael.
No.
Michael doesn't listen to his own mother.
No.
And I appreciate how much they fight for Joey, but Joey has to get some fight for himself. Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
So we move on to Brooklyn and Brian.
This was the scene for me of the night.
So it's been 2 months and he is on the ankle monitor.
Yeah.
The daughter is liking him being there. He has 2 weeks to get a job or he has to go to the halfway house.
Now, here's the thing about it that I have to ask, right? So it's been 2 months since he's been home, right?
Yep.
To me, I'm like, bro, what were you doing for 2 months? now
procrastinating.
Now I understand that. Hey, when you hear I got 2 weeks to get a job, or you know what I mean, like I'm sure fast food jobs are hiring, but I'm like that is. I'm not. Listen here. I am no way defending the system because the system was created in many ways to be hard once you get into it. You get what I'm saying? But I'm like, one of the first things I would have been doing besides taking some pregnancy tea, right? I would have been on ZipRecruiter, Indeed, whatever website it is for y'all in like whatever state y'all in, trying to get a job. Not worried about bringing another child in. Not even trying to talk to her child and things like that. I would have been boots on the ground, basically. Yep. I got to get my life started because I don't want to go back to jail or I don't want to go back to the halfway house. So even though he got 2 weeks to do it, I'm like, bro, the other 8 weeks he wasn't doing anything but just having sex, I guess.
So his friend comes to pick him up so that way he can get some interview clothes.
Yeah.
Brooklyn wants to meet the friend, but Brian isn't for that.
Facts.
She's hoping that this friend isn't someone who is going to risk his safety or get him to go back in prison. And that's the thing with these people. They have this attachment to their prisoner love interest and all that type of stuff, but you cannot prevent somebody from going back to jail.
No, you can't.
You cannot. So Brooklyn comes out to say hello, to set the ground rules, no women. He needs to be back by 3 p.m. And the friend says, whatever's between y'all is between y'all. Pretty much, I ain't trying to hear all this.
Yeah.
We're going to kick it. And then he rolls the window up on her. And she feels like he is on her FU list now.
Listen here, you know Brooklyn arm would have still been in that truck if that was me. I would have pulled off with her arm in the car, right? First of all, let's speak from a man's perspective, a guy's perspective, as I'm gonna give y'all this. It may be toxic, but guess what? I am who I am, right? You my lady, right?
Yeah.
So in some ways, you are a representation of me. I am a representation of you. I'm not going out in these streets embarrassing the name of Blair with the good hair. You get what I'm saying? Right? So first of all, the fact that you coming out here in your pajamas and a bonnet on your head or a scarf on your head, I'm already embarrassed, right? And then you got the nerve to go on the driver's side to talk to my mans as if he got to listen to you, right? For one, if I was Brian, I would have been on hots telling her, go back in the house. I already told you no. Why are you over here talking about I'm tweaking, bro? You know, it's just, it's for one, the respect is already off the table because, like Blair said, she feels like she owns you now because guess what? I'm housing you, you know, I'm taking care of you. Even before he was about to leave, she said, dude, like, you need any money and things like that? He said, like, no, I'm, you know, my people's over here, give me some money. So my thing is, it's his responsibility to stay out of jail. If that was me as the driver, as the friend, he said his thing of like no disrespect, but that got to stay between y'all. I just would have looked at like my boy and be like, are you gonna say anything to your girl? Your girl's on my driver's side window.
Yeah. And
if he's not gonna say anything, I'm driving off with her arm in the car. It just is what it is.
So the friend is asking, do you really want to be with this girl? And Brian says that he wants to be with her. He wants to build with her. And the friend is just like, man, we are in this BBL era. There's so much you've missed out on. And, you know, you might look around and want something different. Brooklyn is just trying to keep him out of trouble. She says she's not trying to be his PO.
Dude, you want a translation of what he said?
What'd he say?
He said, your girl dusty. Why is she dusty? And how would I know she's dusty? I wouldn't have known that she ain't come out here in pajamas and a bonnet. Or basically she, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he basically said, like, yo, we in the BBL era. Like, do you want to stick with that? And I'm just like, even though it may be mean to say, I understand what he's saying as a guy. Because guess what? In the first introduction of me meeting your girl, she made a bad impression, right? So it's like, listen, I'm with him. But truth be told, I wouldn't be talking about BBLs with him either. I would have been like, bro, we going to make sure we get you some khakis. We going to make sure we get you some polos. We going to make sure we get you right. You know what I'm saying? Besides talking about other girls, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, that does not need to be where his focus is at all. So he was locked up 6 years ago.
Yeah.
He talks about when he got arrested, he was actually turning a new leaf. But years prior, he robbed a pharmacy, and that's what they got him on.
Well,
he tells his friend that he's planning on having a kid, and the friend tells him that the family stuff is cool, but he wants to show him what's going on in the world, so he's going to take him to a strip club.
See what I mean?
She calls him. It's around 2:30, and she tells him that he needs to start making his way back home. He says he's out with his friend. You know, pretty much it's not even 3 o'clock yet. I'm going to see you when I see you. So the friend, of course, is planning for him to go to the strip club for a few minutes, and then we're going to get you home
Take your time. ASAP.
Get you home ASAP. Yes.
What are your thoughts?
my thoughts for Brandon, he doesn't need to be around anybody who's not going to keep him on the straight and narrow.
Facts.
I'm like, if your friend wants, you don't need to be at the strip club. You don't need to be taking shots. You don't need to be getting home at 2:58. You know what I'm saying? Like, focus on what you need to do in order to stay out of prison. And I think that is what's going to save him.
Yeah.
What's her name? Brittany. She is not going to save him from not going to jail
Brooklyn,
by being. Yeah, Brooklyn. She's not going to save him from being down his back about what he needs to do and where he needs to be. He needs to take his life in his own hands and tell his friend, man, I'm not even on that type of time. I need to get myself together. You know?
Yeah. Here's the thing about it, right? Besides the pregnancy tea and things of that nature, I already knew if the fella's coming to pick you up, we're not just going to get you your work clothes and then, like, you know, you coming straight home, because you could did that with your lady.
Right.
You know what I mean? We gonna have some guy time. And my thing is this: if your man's is not on the straight and narrow, meaning that, hey, he's not married, or basically he's not faithful and things like that. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with his friend Adrian, right? But my thing is, Adrian have a lot of leeway to do whatever he wants.
Right.
He not on probation. He ain't got no curfew. So if he want to go to the strip club, he can go to the strip club, and that's no problem. But the thing about a strip club is there's no clocks in there. You get what I'm saying? So you can lose yourself. You barely got any money. Your parents giving you money, some type of money for you to live off of. So it's like, you don't have your life together. Why are you wasting your time, or even to Blair Point, trying to make it home at 2:58 and things of that nature to basically take that risk?
Yeah.
And you already know you got a CO, you living in her house, so she gonna be down your neck and things of that nature. So I'm like, you're just playing with her now, because you're going to the strip club. You know she ain't gonna like that. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, I think that goes back to the best friend point of, hey, you sure you want to be with that girl? Matter of fact, let's go to the strip club.
Yeah, let me
bro.
show you something.
Yeah, let me show you something, because you think you think girls like her are the only girls that's around.
I'm like, what strippers be at the club at 2:30 in the afternoon?
You'd be surprised.
Okay.
You'd be surprised. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Listen, I need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. It's depending on what state they're in. Do you remember what state they're in?
Are they in Vegas? Yeah, I think they're. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, listen, wherever they are, it's dependent. Because some places are strip club 24/7, like 7-Eleven.
I thought they put like the discount girls during the day, and then the real girls at night.
Discount? Ain't no discount.
No, I'm saying like the.
The ones that willing to do a little something strange for maybe a piece of change.
No, the ones that really ain't got themselves together like that.
No, I don't go to those strip clubs.
Okay.
Or been to those strip clubs and things of that. We ain't throwing out the rookies out there at 2:00 in the afternoon. If you go work in this strip club, you gotta be at least good.
Because I was like, nighttime is like prime time. But that's when the best ones come out.
But that's not necessarily true, because what NCC this would happen. I'm not revealing no one's secrets, but I'm saying you'd be surprised how many guys during their work day go to the strip club in the middle of, you know what I'm saying, of their leisure time and things like that, especially these execs and things like that.
And they do say they have the best wings, so they got to get their wings on lunchtime.
No, just Magic City. not everywhere.
Strip clubs got the best wings.
That's not true. Do not go to your local strip club expecting some elite wing. You just go get Tyson's, okay? Tyson's frozen wings and things like that. Magic City got amazing wings. But I'm saying you'd be surprised how many of those people that go there at 2:00 in the afternoon and things like that,
they spending money
coming from work. I'm talking about these men that are paid execs and things like that,
wow.
going in, and that's why I said they not just throwing ugly biddies up there in the middle of the afternoon. You'd be surprised. Anything else?
No, that's all I got.
Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Listen, if y'all been to the strip club, let me know y'all strip club experience and things like that. And
I've only been at night.
You only been at night?
I don't know the daytime hours.
Me neither. I don't know nothing. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. We see y'all.
Bye.